Hello, beautiful. I just arrived back home after being in Berlin for a couple of days at the Mannsein conference, men's conference, where I got to host a couple of speeches and workshops in front of a couple of hundred men on the theme of leading from soul. And there's a specific piece that I want to talk about here because it also came up with a client today where we are so used in our culture to push ourselves in a specific kind of violent way that is very easy to translate the same mechanism, even if you start listening to your soul impulses. But then the way that you relate to them is still old paradigm, is still not really truly living in alignment. And what I mean by that is when I talk to people about living from soul, allowing themselves to listen to their soul impulses and then also following them and, over time actually living a life that is the life that you're meant to live, like what you came here for, to share the gifts that you're here to share. That there's a really important differentiation between starting to listen to the deeper inspiration, to the expansion that starts coming when you really allow yourself to listen way beyond the mind of what you actually feel called to do and what you feel called to let go of, and the deeper inspiration that comes when you really listen. And this energetic yes to the inspiration that comes into your life, that is something different from just blindly following every impulse that comes from this place. And this is where this paradigm of pushing can really sneak its way back in, where we can get this idea of like, wow, I have like all this inspiration and I want to change my whole life and I want to quit my job and I want to move out of the country and all these things that might truly come from soul. But that does not mean that we do all of those things at once, but that we check where are we operating from this, like, okay, I have like a new insight and now I immediately need to translate it because otherwise, I don't know, it gets lost or I'm not fast enough. And when is it actually in energetic alignment? And things can move incredibly fast when we truly live from soul. So this is also not me saying, oh, you always got to slow down. But what I do invite you into is to notice when you get this should into your mind of like, okay, here's this new insight that I have of how I need to shift my work and how I need to do things differently because I received this deep inspiration, where we start turning that again into a new, this is what I have to do, and we start pushing ourselves. Because that's not living from soul. Living from soul is, oh wow, I can see this new movement coming in and I fully say yes to the energy and I welcome it. What a gift. And then I look, how does this translate to my life? And maybe it will take some time. And some of the things I will be able to do immediately, but I don't have to. This is not coming from like, I have to translate this immediately. I am not in a rush when I live from soul. The soul is timeless. Time does not truly exist on the level of soul. I still operate within it, but when I fully say yes to the energies that come into my life, to the inspiration, it doesn't matter when exactly this will be in my life. So for example, one big element of what I help people embody more fully is living from your highest vision. And for me, that means connecting energetically in your body to the greatest visions that you have for your life, the deepest callings, and then you practice living from the reality that it is already here. Because energetically it is. It just has not materialized yet. But if I'm able to feel that place inside of me where it is already done, just needs some time to translate into the material world. It's going to be a lot more fun. I'm not going to be in a rush. I'm going to be able to follow my joy. I'm going to experience deep trust. I'm going to be much more relaxed. So if I receive a soul impulse that maybe, turns my life upside down because it shows me that I've been living something that is no longer true, I don't have to rush to make this happen. There's no rush. I also don't have to artificially slow myself down. But the moment I start pushing myself, that's old patterns that are coming in, that are sneakily finding its way back in, and that are just the same thing that I've probably done with myself before, just with soul impulses. But it's the same pattern as before. So that's something to look out for, just to notice. You're not in a rush. All of the deepest impulses that you have, they will happen. But not from a place of everything has to happen now or I'm too slow. If you want to dive deeper into this, I have a masterclass coming up this Thursday called Embodied Business Leadership, where I will guide you through an experience of the 4 pillars of a thriving business from within. And highest vision will be one of those pillars. And you'll walk away with a clear sense of where you're at in those 4 pillars and what your next step is. So if that speaks to you, we already have almost 50 people registered. Super exciting. If you want to join as well, you can drop the word pillars below and I'll send you the masterclass link this Thursday, Embodied Business Leadership Masterclass. Would love to see you there. It's going to be a super potent, powerful experience. And with that, I wish you the most beautiful of evenings or rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.